Alright, a new DPS test for these new skills starting with Hydro Slicer, which is basically a Beam Slicer clone, which isn't bad. They're both very good skills, deal triple damage to airborne targets, good against Moonlord. Then we have the Neptilius exclusive skill. I wanted to add that just because I did the test including this PAL. A lot of power, but it does have a very long animation time, which affects the DPS. Then we have a new Breeding exclusive skill. Hits 3 to 4 times depending on target size. Torrential Blast, it is kind of like 2 beams, but it does hit 3 times. Freeze Wall, pretty interesting skill. Creates a wall for 7 seconds with 200,000 health. Might have some sort of use that I haven't really thought about yet. I'm sure somebody can find a use for it in like the arena or something. Then we have Aqua Surge, just a basic 2-hit attack. Reflect Leaf can bounce 3 times, that means 4 hits, but it does need at least 2 targets to bounce. So it's not good in these single target things. And then Crosswind hitting 2 times, just a basic attack there as well. Then I also did test with all the epic fruits, because there was the patch notes about stuff having changed with the epic fruits. But it seems like the only change to the old skills are the laser skills, like the Pal Blast, the Lightning Bolt, the Dark Laser. Dragon Meteor was not changed, it's still pretty bad. Rock Lance, Fireball, all of those were the same. And there were no nerfs to the top skills. Holy Burst, Lightning Streak, Airblade, Wall Splash, those skills all look the same to me. So nothing really changed. It wasn't a whole lot of work to test the old skills. But we have all these new skills in orange. So it's the skills DPS against Björn in the first one. And then against Victor, because he has a much bigger hitbox, you're going to get more damage with the multi-hit skills. And then we have Xenolord as well. So the difference here, why the DPS is different for all these tables, is because with Xenolord you have a whole different set of buffs. You have these base research buffs instead of having bounty tokens. So bounty tokens are the things you get from killing bosses. They give element boost things. That's why stuff like Grass Tornado and Sand Tornado and Flare Storm have different DPS, even if they're pretty much the exact same skill. It's just this DPS test is assuming you have farmed all those bounty tokens. Another thing that affects DPS, except for hitbox, bounty tokens, and research, is that built-in Serenity effect that Party Pals have. So Party Pals have 60% cooldown reduction built in, while these base pals have a 20% CT increase. So that's going to affect like the long CT skills quite a bit if they have a CT reduction compared to the like short CT skills. They're just going to become a little bit better overall, kinda. Something else to consider here is, like you'll see Thalasonic Laser doing very well on this DPS test, but you have to consider these animations, which is something I mentioned in previous videos. That like by the time Thalasonic Laser is done casting, the PAL could have used something like Holy Burst, Beam Slicer, and Hydro Slicer. So you're gonna have to test, like, this is a good baseline to go from. Like, try the skills that have top DPS, but also think about the animation time. Stuff like Airblade just has very short animation time. You can get the loops going pretty well. Sometimes it's even better to have a longer animation time, because the short animation times, sometimes the PAL decides to add that filler skill, which is usually pretty bad, because then they do nothing for 4 seconds. Sadly, a lot of these new skills seem pretty bad. The buffed laser skills are looking pretty good against single target, but keep in mind these skills again suffer from this long animation time thing. So really what shines to me is Hydro Slicer, and then we have Dark Wisp being a new skill fruit. So I included some of the new skill fruits as well, like Charge Cannon and All Range Thunder and those, but a lot of them aren't great. So you'll see the orange skills are pretty heavy on the bottom. They're a little bit better against Victor, because they will hit like 1 or 2 extra times against Victor compared to the single target hits. But overall, a lot of these fall down into the not so good category. You have like Freeze Wall might have some sort of utility. Reflect Leaf, this DPS is with Reflect Leaf hitting once, because this is assuming you're fighting bosses. Maybe bringing Reflect Leaf to the arena could be good, but there's so many good arena skills. Like you got Holy Burst, you got Meteor Rain, Double Blizzard Spike, Glacial Impact, like all these hard-hitting, big area of effect skills. Something else I just removed the melee rock burst. It still works, it was just very confusing, people got confused. So if you know about melee rock burst and how strong it is, you know, you're part of that exclusive club. But overall, it's still looking like Holy Burst, Blast Cannon, Beam Slicer, Wall Splash, like these skills are still top tier. Adding Dark Wisp could be interesting. Unfortunately, a lot of the bosses are dark, or there's something super effective which kind of beats Dark Wisp. Pals also tend to move a little bit more when using Dark Wisp, like they need to run into melee range almost. If you're facing like a boss that runs around a lot, the Dark Wisp tends to miss a little bit. So use this like as a guideline for when you're picking your skills. And then right now against the raid bosses, at least when I tested against Xenoloord, there's a lot of messy AI stuff. Xenoloord is just running around very much, making skills like Thalassonic Laser was not working at all against Xenoloord. Not sure how it is against Rio right now, but keep that in mind. Against some of these raid bosses, you might want these instant hit skills. Same thing as Moonlord, kinda. The skills that have a long travel time don't really work that well. So I did test all the other epic fruits because I was expecting stuff like Fireball and Rocklands and stuff like that to have been buffed a little bit, but they all looked the exact same to me. So not much has changed here. There's no real like new breeding skill thing either. You're probably just gonna go for Double Blizzard Spike or Meteor Rain or Poison Fog or something like that. So nothing really stands out here except for Hydro Slicer and maybe these laser attacks, but they suffer from this animation time as mentioned. Now I do have a couple of exclusive skills that I need to try out. The Walaska and stuff like that are looking pretty cool. So I will be adding those as I breed and max out those pals and doing some comparisons with those as well. But for now, these are the new skill fruits added. Some of the old ones were breeding exclusives. They are now skill fruits like Stonebeat. Some of them are pretty fun, like hopefully somebody can find a use for Freeze Wall. And maybe some Reflect Leaf usage in the arena or something like that. But for now, this is it with these new skill fruits. Thanks for watching.